Mr. Abhay Kadakia on the stage. Mr. Abhay Kadakia, our next speaker, is a director at Zigma International. He holds a BS and MS in geological science with a focus on clay minerals. Can we please put our hands together for our next speaker? Now I would request Mr. Nagresha to please hand over a beach box to our speaker. A very experienced personality, and it's going to be a wonderful session. He has been working as a product and process developer for past 3 years at the Clorox company in the USA, working closely with minerals such as binotine and natural calcium carbonate. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Abhay Kadakia from Zigma International. I would like to thank everyone here, and especially IPCA, Mr. Jaisal, Mr. Rajiv, Mr. Jimmy, who just introduced me, for giving me this opportunity. We are a mineral-based company, and so I'm going to talk about a very specific mineral called Attapulgite, which has its use as a rheological modifier, not only in the coatings industry, but many other industries. So Zigma, we have never been a part of the coatings industry as such. We have always focused more on construction and cement industries and construction chemicals. But we saw an opportunity with this particular product where it could be used in water-based coatings. And so we thought we would like to introduce this product to the coatings industry as well. Just to establish what we want to talk about, water-based coatings, a lot of times you hear an issue being that viscosity is dropping, or like there is separation in the system, in the paint, or there is some settlement at the bottom. So that's why rheology modifiers are used. There are several different types. We are going to focus and demonstrate basically the use of Attapulgite clay-based rheology modifier for water-based coatings. It has a lot of advantages which can solve some of these issues. Just a brief about Zigma. We are about a 25-year-old company. We have been a mineral-based company. We worked on hydrous kaolins, Attapulgite clay, several clay minerals. We also cater in bulk quantities to the cement and construction sector. We do about 2 million tons of limestone in South Asia region. And of late, we have worked in some government utilities as well, focusing again on mineral-based solutions, mineral-based products. A lot of our work, we are based out of Maharashtra. We have a R&D facility, a QC facility there. So a lot of our products are basically research-based. We have introduced about 6 products in the last 5 years, which are our own proprietary products. The product I'm going to talk about today also is something we have developed over the last couple of years. Just a quick brief on the promoters. I guess my father, Mr. Abhay Kadakia, is here. He has been in the material science minerals field for the last 35 years with a huge knowledge on cement and construction sectors. And so we've developed a lot of products for those sectors. I joined recently. I am a geologist with a background in clay mineralogy, with a master's in clay mineralogy. My thesis has been on Attapulgite, so I thought it was apt that we introduce this to the coatings industry as well. I have about 15 years of experience in this field, whether it's limestone, Attapulgite, bentonite, kaolins. I got my degree in geology, so hence continued focus on minerals industry and in its applications. Today we will talk about rheology modifiers, but especially the Attapulgite clay that I was mentioning. There are several types of rheology modifiers. I think everybody here is more or less familiar with them. You know, there are clays, there are haze thickeners, alkali soluble emulsions, polyurethanes, cellulose derivatives are extremely common, used in all the coatings, acrylic polymers. The rheology modifiers provide a lot of advantages and properties which are very important, you know, for stability, for shelf life of the paint, for anti-sagging, brushability, which are the secondary advantages. But the main thing everybody looks for, you need a nice, viscous, stable paint. If it's going to be in the system for 6 months or on the shelf for 2-3 months, when the painter opens, when the customer opens the paint bucket, it should be nice, uniform, and thick. So rheology modifiers play an important role in this. We are going to specifically talk about Attapulgite, which is an inorganic clay. Of all the rheology modifiers, I believe these are the only inorganic ones, the clay minerals, which has their own, inorganic has its own advantages. In general, just talking about clays, again, I think most of the industry is very familiar with several clay minerals, calcined kaolins, your bentonite, your hydrous kaolins. Other platy minerals such as talcs are also very commonly used. We are going to focus on Attapulgite, which is a very unique clay mineral. And specifically, it cannot be used as an extender or an opacifier, but it is rather a rheology modifier. So what is Attapulgite? Attapulgite is a hydrous magnesium aluminum silicate. Like other clays, they are all aluminum silicates. Kaolins are aluminum silicates, so are bentonites. This one specifically is rich in magnesium ions, and that's what makes it very unique. It is typically associated with other accessory minerals such as calcite and dolomite, sometimes quartz, nearly to the tune of 30-40%. So we really have to do a lot of processing and research to get the best out of this mineral. Major deposits are found in the US, Russia, China, and Greece. India also has some very specific deposits that we have identified, and we've basically made our product from the Indian clay. We have tried to focus with Indian products only. We spent about 2 years trying to research on this product for its use in many industries, and we've just recently set up our plant where we are processing this particular clay and bringing the best out of it for all kinds of applications. This particular clay, Attapulgite, has to be processed and purified to be used as a rheology modifier, because if you think about it, calcite and dolomite are also used commonly in water-based coating or in coatings in general, but they do not contribute to any rheological properties. So we have to separate the calcite, dolomite, and quartz from the clay so that the clay can be used as a rheological modifier. And if you focus on these pictures here, what's very unique as compared to a kaolin is platy, a bentonite is also a platy clay mineral, whereas Attapulgite is a fibrous clay mineral. You can see the fibers. This is like a microscopic image of the same. And when you take a fiber, like for example, like a tunnel, and you cut it into a cross section, you cut the fiber into half, then this is the supposed structure of the Attapulgite clay, where you have your silicon in blue and your aluminum and magnesiums in orange and green. Not to focus on the chemistry, but what I want to demonstrate is this is one single unit, and obviously this is microscopic, so there you have thousands of units. So what gets left behind are these gaps in the center where you have a lot of molecular water. And so you keep extending this, so you get a fibrous structure. And this, but it gives its very unique properties, where it can hold water and it can behave like a rheological modifier in water-based systems. I described how Attapulgite works, what it is. some of the industries where we are supplying and catering Attapulgite as a rheology modifier, for example, foundry coatings. There are a lot of water-based foundry coatings that are manufactured. They require a rheology modifier. So we have established ourselves there with our product. In construction chemicals such as mortars, grouts, concrete accelerators, which are these pasty formulations, they all require rheology modifiers. And we have started supplying Attapulgite there. Agrochemical suspensions, you have a lot of herbicides and fungicides, which are basically liquid formulations that are sprayed for crop protection. They also require a lot of rheology modifiers. Further, this can be used in wall putties and adhesives, all kinds of adhesives, tile adhesives. One of the other major industries we cater to is catalyst. Basically, these are FCC catalysts used in the oil and gas industry, where Attapulgite is used also as a binding agent. Another good thing about Attapulgite, as I was saying, it is in our goals for 2030 or maybe a little later to be VOC free. So I think this product in particular plays a good role in contributing to that goal. Further, we have solar power, we manufacture using clean energy. This is a very purified product, so it does not contain any free silica. Normally for minerals, free silica is a concern for anyone for safety purposes, for health of the workers. So this product does not have any free silica. And further, being a natural mineral, it can be stored. I think we are very familiar with that. It can be stored for a long time, safely, without any hazards at the factory. So again, I would like to re-establish how, I just mentioned what Attapulgite was, how it can be used. So we wanted to demonstrate how it helps controlling some of the problems that we see, like viscosity issues, separation issues, or solid settlement at the bottom. And we'll go ahead and describe how this particular clay works when it's introduced in water. So Zingel, which is our product, which is our purified purest form of Attapulgite, we'd like to claim. As I described, it's made up of fibers. And these fibers, when they are introduced in a water system, they interact with the hydrogen and the hydroxyl ions, basically with water. And the fibers of Zingel, they are negatively charged at the surface and positively charged at the tips. So it works like a magnet. You have negative and positive charges. It creates this electrostatic interaction between the fibers and anything that is there in the water. And it creates sort of a structure that you see here, like a card house, like a stack of cards that we make at home. If you have children at home, you probably do this a lot. And so it creates this card house structure, which this structure creates a gel. And this builds slowly over time. Now what this gel does, the gel will obviously add viscosity, that's its primary property. Along with that, it's stable for a long time. So it keeps everything suspended for a long time, doesn't allow particles to settle. And it holds the structure, giving stability and long shelf life. It provides thickening, it prevents settling of pigments, it inhibits separation of components, and prolongs the shelf life in general. Some of the other advantages apart from thickening, Zingel is inorganic, it's a natural clay mineral, it is immune to microbes, it is anti-settling, it is anti-sagging, it is thixotropic, which I will describe later, but that is one of the important properties of this product. It potentially contributes to hiding power and syneresis control. Also, Zingel, the fibers, they hold water really well. So it helps in uniform film formation, spatter resistance. And as I mentioned earlier, we use clay that is based out of India. All of our ingredients are based out of India. And we have tried to make our products which are basically, Atmanirbhar. Talking about the other important property, thixotrophy. So thixotrophy is nothing but when there is a structure to any kind of a liquid, whether it's emulsion or anything else, there is some structure. And basically, when you start mixing, the structure will slowly relax, things will start flowing, and when you let the emulsion or the paint rest, it will thicken up again. That is nothing but thixotrophy. So Zingel contributes to thixotrophy in a very big way. Again, looking at these pictures, you can see the fibers of Zingel. You mix them up, they start flowing, and when you let it rest, it goes back to the original thickness that it had given to the paint. It's almost like a elastic, like a rubber. You can stretch it, and then it goes back to its resting state. So, this brings a stable viscosity when the paint is transported, when it's stored for a long time at a distributor or a retailer. And when the painter applies this, it starts flowing again easily. It helps with, when it is brushed or it is rolled, it's very free-flowing. Another aspect that I mentioned was it's inorganic, it's natural, so it's immune to microorganisms. Cellulose derivatives are very commonly used. They are prone to attack by microorganisms. It could be algae, fungi, or bacteria. You see a lot of mold sometimes, which can lead to loss of viscosity. You get some discoloration at times when you open a bucket, or sometimes you get a foul smell. Zingel, Attapulgite in general, is immune to such attacks by any kind of a microorganism. So that is another advantage that Zingel provides. Another thing, again, focusing on the inorganic aspect, the natural aspect of the clay, it is compatible with everything in your water-based coating, be it other minerals, your kaolins, your talcs, your calcites, be it other polymers or thickeners that are there, for example, cellulose thickeners or any kind of alkali-soluble thickeners. They are very compatible with all of them. So it's very easy. It makes it easier for any manufacturer to adapt this product because you don't have to worry about any negative impacts that it might have on your formulation. You can either completely replace the thickener that you are using if it works in your formulation, or you can partially substitute it with a Zingel-like product where it still gives the same properties and the same end results. We talked a lot about the properties of Zingel, the properties of Attapulgite, and we've not been a part of the paint industry, but we did get some help, and we tried making sort of a primer using our product in our laboratory. Basically, we made 3 different formulations. We did a water-based primer, we did a water-based emulsion, we did a process where we had a leading cellulose brand and our product as partially substituting it. And we also made a primer completely with Zingel. And we got some really good results. Basically, we studied the stability over 2 months. And after 2 months, we saw that the primer was absolutely stable. There was no separation of liquids, no settlement of solids. We also did some drawdowns and sag index experiments. And we basically got the same results that you would get with a cellulose, either during partial substitution or with complete replacement as well. So these are some of the results of, for example, I would just point out 1, 2, and 3. So 1 is where we partially replaced a cellulose product and we added Zingel. 2 was where we made the same formulation, but it was an emulsion. And 3 was basically only using Zingel as a thickener in the product. And we got fairly good results as far as anti-sagging index goes, or the drawdowns, the opacity, the brushability of the product. So basically, we wanted to introduce this particular clay, Attapulgite, and how we derived Zingel from Attapulgite, which brings all these properties. It brings viscosity, it brings stability, it brings anti-settling properties to your paint system. We have already introduced this product in several other industries, and we hope that with our demonstration that we are able to bring something to the water-based coatings as well. Thank you so much for your time. If there are any questions, I'd like to take them.
Any question?
Any questions by anybody?
token of appreciation to the speaker.
Jimmy, can we have you faster, please?
Sir, to the center. I would request Mr. Kadakia to please stay back as we are proceeding to the lucky draw winner. Thank you, Mr. Jaydeep. You may please be seated. So let's see who it is who's getting lucky.
Mr. Mayank Goel from Sharp Coatings Private Limited.
Is he here? Let's make it faster. Is he here? If no, then we'll flash next name. No. Next.
Mr. Naval Kishore.
Mr. Naval Kishore. Seems like no one is getting lucky. Next. Next, quickly.
Mr. Kaustubh Kundu.
He's right there. सर आपके नाम पे लिखा था आज 2 सिल्वर कॉइन्स. Thank you. Can we have a huge round of applause? Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.